I'm Carla Page, and welcome to my program. I am really excited about this half hour. I have the honor and the pleasure and the delight to interview Marion Porterfield. She is the city council president currently, and she has served as a city council member for 11 years. Marion, now she wants to be the mayor of Schenectady. We're going to hear from her and find out what she's thinking, what she's planning, and how she's making things go in motion. So make sure you get on the phone and let all your friends know that we're on. Hi, Marion.
Good afternoon, Carla. How are you?
Not bad,
Good.
not bad. Thanks for coming. I want to start off by saying that because I know that, you're real busy. I've got to ask you right out the gate. I mean, you've been involved with city council. You're the president. You've been involved with the Schenectady City Council all those years, 11. Why now do you want to be the mayor of Schenectady?
Well, the reason I'm running for mayor is I really feel like that we need to have more putting people first in our governmental business. And although we've done a lot in terms of technology and all of that, but there are some things that are missing. And part of that is really engaging the community. And I feel like right now is that there's a time for change in leadership.
Okay, all right. So when you first brought it out in the public and started to tell people that you were going to run, that you were going to campaign, what was the response?
Well, actually, very positive response. People were saying, well, we really support you. I want to be a part of your team. And when you're really deciding that you want to do this. So really good, positive feedback from the community. As you said, I've been on the council for 11 years. And throughout my time on the council, I always stayed engaged with the community because that's who elected me. That's who I'm here to represent. And I want there to be more of that. And I feel like our government should do more of that.
Now, you have had a lot of successes in the past of things that you've done over the years that you have brought to our attention and involved people in. Do you want to share some of those with us?
Well, in terms of...
As far as like the things, the groundwork and the foundation that you have been laying already?
Well, I can go back a really long way. And I think part of my foundation started in the community. I was a Girl Scout leader. I ran an organization to help women return to work. I ran an organization to help bring back the quality of life in the community. And I just I've been a part of our neighborhood association over the years. So doing things involved with my church and other churches, and just to keep people engaged and let them know what's going on. And to be a part of, because I am a part of the community, I want to stay engaged with the community. And that's how you are able to hear people's concerns and bring them to the table, which actually, Carla, is the reason I ran for city council in the first place. I used to go to the city council rail and bring concerns from the community. We'd like to see this, or we'd like to see whatever the concern was. And I felt that there really was not a response that was, it was not received, and then there was no outcome. So it was clear to me that there was a need for someone who was going to have that listening ear and also respond and engage the community. That's the reason I ran, and I continue to stay on the council for that reason, and to be involved with the community and not let that happen. And anybody that I brought along, anyone that I've mentored to get on the council, that is what I've also said to them, that you have to make sure you came here for the people, to serve the people. So let's make sure we continue to do that.
Yes. I do remember on J Street, the store you had over there, because I remember shopping out of there. It was at Bountiful Closet. Yes, I remember that store. Wow. Yeah, that was a lovely store. Now, you have a lot of literature that's out that's been coming in the mail, and I know you're going door to door also.
Yes.
And I want to start just running down some things that are here on this card, the brochure, that I want to just start to, if you don't mind, just responding to.
Sure.
Now, you did say putting people first. That's your campaign.
That is my campaign.
And I see
slogan.
I see your signs all over the place. I do. So you want to restore city services. Will you explain?
Sure. Right now, we're really severely understaffed at the city, and as a result of us not being fully staffed, that impacts our community, our residents, and people are paying taxes, and so we need to be able to make sure they get all the services that are needed, that we promise. And it's not that they're not in the budget. I just want to make that clear. It's not that I'm saying, can we, expand the budget? There are positions in the budget that are not filled. And we hear from people all the time about things they have to call. They right now, many people call these city council members for things that they can't get done, so that we can reach out for them. So my goal is to make sure that we're fully staffed, that people can reach directly to the city. Not saying the council members can't be contacted, but they can reach directly to the city, and that we have the capability and the staffing to be able to address residents' concerns and provide all the services that we promise.
Okay. Next thing here I see is invest in Schenectady.
Right.
Tell us about that.
When I say invest in Schenectady, I'm really talking about investing in people as well, Carla. We have a lot of development that has happened here, but what I hear a lot from the community is that they haven't benefited in terms of being able to be employed and be able to work on these developments that happen right within our city. And for that to happen, and that to make sure that happens, means that we have tax dollars that circulate right here in the city. That means we provide people with the opportunity to become homeowners, to earn a living wage, to actually build things that they get to see every single day. So that's a part of investing in Schenectady and making sure that as much of the dollars that we spend, we invest with the people who actually live here.
Okay. And the last thing that's checked on here, please talk to us about repair and maintain infrastructure.
Right. So, well, part of it, as you probably hear all the time, are the potholes. We have a lot of potholes. So we need to, I believe, have a better plan on making sure that they get fixed, and do that like as soon as the season allows. And look at our infrastructure. This is an old city. So we have to make sure that whether it's our pipes failing, several things have happened recently where things have happened underground. So just to make sure that our infrastructure, we're proactive with that in terms of replacing as much as possible, so that it doesn't become a situation where it becomes a crisis.
I see. Wow. Do want to remind you, too, that the primary election is Tuesday, and it is June 27th. The polls are open at 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. There's a poll near you. Again, if you're a registered Democrat, get out there and vote. Your vote counts. Your vote is important. There's also early voting, which starts June 17th through the 25th. And you have to register by June 17th to vote in the primaries. But the key is vote. It is important. It's your right to vote. It's your right to vote. So, Marion, let me ask you this. The support that you're getting, I want to find out how we can even support you even more. I mean, voting is the key, I know, but how can we support you now ahead of time?
Well, Carla, I'm running a very grassroots campaign because I was not the endorsed candidate, as you know. So my campaign is very grassroots. It's volunteers from the community who have stepped up and come together to do that. So if anyone is interested in volunteering with my campaign, I'm certainly open the door to that. Having a sign in your yard also helps, and if people want to donate towards the campaign, because everything costs in order to do that. So, and it doesn't matter how much. So, because as I said, it's a very grassroots campaign, and you can just visit my website, the campaign website, which is Marion number 4. It's Marion number 4 mayor.com. That's Marion, Marion, the number 4 mayor.com. And you can visit my website, find out more about my campaign, and also an opportunity to volunteer if you would care to do that.
And you've been having sevelot fundraisers.
Yes.
You just had one recently, too, right? At Central Park.
Yes, I had
the pavilion.
Yes. I had a fundraiser last night again, which was, a lot of fun. I always try to make my fundraisers fun, and also make sure that it's ways to engage the community. So actually, there was a band called the George Boone Blues Band. I say that very slowly.
Yeah.
And
You know him.
they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to be a part of your campaign."
Aw.
So last night they were the entertainment. So that was great. We've had events where women, because we called it a women-powered event, because there needs to be more women in leadership and more women in government. So we did that, and I had my blast off where everyone came just to learn more about my campaign, more about me, and to show their support. So we're working towards raising the funds to do it because running for office is not it's not inexpensive.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, here on your card, it says Marion will be a mayor for all of Schenectady. And the word all, ALL, is in capitals. Explain.
Right. So it's, with capital letters just give emphasis to what's being said.
Everybody.
To everybody. It doesn't matter which neighborhood you live in. It doesn't matter your background. None of that matters. Your social economic status, none of that matters. What I plan to do is to actually do a neighborhood plan. Well, some people call it a comprehensive plan. So to go out to the neighborhoods and talk to each neighborhood about what the needs are in their community. It makes a difference. I always like to say how you see it depends on where you sit. So different people in different communities have needs. I was in the GE plot yesterday talking to neighbors, and some of their concerns were decidedly different than I've heard in other neighborhoods. So sitting down with the people who live in the neighborhoods, I think is hugely important to make sure as we're addressing the needs, we make sure we've heard from the people and that we put that in part of the plan. We haven't had a comprehensive plan since 2008. So if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So I think that some good things have happened. However, we really need to be doing more within the neighborhoods. I know there's a few things happening here and there, but overall, a plan would make a difference. And then you could look at that plan and say, what have we done? What haven't we done? And how far have we come? And what more do we need to do? In addition to that, not only can the city be able to use the plan, residents can use the plan. I can speak from experience that my neighborhood wanted to do something a number of years ago when the comprehensive plan was the one that Mayor Stratton had done. So we went to the comprehensive plan to see what, as residents, had said, what are we going to do for our community? We were able to look at what happened and then the things that needed to happen. And also, we actually advocated, went to city council and advocated for some things that we wanted added to the plan. So that to me was a really great experience. It made sense and it gave people some place to look to see what was going on in the city in terms of, and what their involvement could be in that. So that is part of what, when it says all, it's all encompassing like that.
Yes. And for me, when I see you or address you or any time I'm talking anything about you, I always call you the honorable.
Yes.
Always. And to me, that's where you are.
Thank you.
That's where you are.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about Mayor Gary McCarthy now for a few minutes.
Sure.
That's all right. So he's done 3 terms, so that's 12 years.
12 years.
You've been there on city council for 11 years.
Yes.
So the two of you have been working together for a very long time.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
what was it like when you told him that you were going to run for mayor?
Well, he really wasn't happy, as you might imagine. And, we did sit down and have a conversation about it. And I told him that I just felt like now there was some good things that have happened. And make no mistake, because I was on the council at the time, part of those good things happened, I had a part in. So, and so those things have happened. However, I thought that there should be just more inclusivity. And I don't see that happening right now. I see that it's a small group of people who get to benefit from the things that go on here. I see that it's a small group of people who actually get to make the decisions. And so I want that decision-making process to be a larger group. And the other part of it is I, as a mayor, will work with the council. That is important. We are the people who the voters look to make sure that things happen. We are the people that the voters look to make sure that things happen. So as mayor, I will work with the council for us to make decisions, to make sure that we stay engaged with the voters, and that so that we can move things forward and that not be a relationship that's adversarial, but a relationship of collaboration, because that is what city government really is meant to be.
Wow, it's something. What I like about this card, it says that rides to the polls, and that's a big thing. A lot of times people want to vote, they're registered, but they can't get there.
Yes.
So this is something that you all will help to get people to the voting places.
We will be providing rides to the polls so that people can get there. We'll don't have the number here, but we're sending out the information to the
Okay.
people we've been in contact with, so they can call and get a ride to the polls.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
And if anyone has,
And excuse me, it will also be on my website.
it'll be on your website.
Yes,
Oh, great,
absolutely.
great. And if anyone has any questions or comments, you can call the Schenectady Board of Elections at 518-377-2469, okay? 377-424-2469, okay? And that's the Board of Elections. So there was a debate between the two of you. I want to go back to talking again, just a little bit more about Mr. McCarthy, okay? You had a debate at the Schenectady County Community College, which is SUNY now.
Right.
And I watched it on television. I didn't get to come, but I did watch it because I know OSM was there and they were videotaping it. And we thank OSM for that. So the next day in the newspaper, in the Daily Gazette, I'm going to hold it up, it said, McCarthy Porterfield clash in primary debate. And this was on the front page of the Daily Gazette. Was there a clash there that night?
Well, Carla, the thing with newspapers is that they put headlines that will grab people's attention. I don't necessarily see it as a clash. We did have some conversations of some points of disagreement. So if clash is the word they wanted to use, that's fine.
Okay, so you're just saying that's the word that they were using, that it wasn't that didn't.
Well, we definitely had some points where we differed. Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, that's something. That is really, really something. Gee.
Well, it's expected. It's just how things work. So, no one's going to read an article that said McCarthy and Porterfield agreed on everything. They're not going to read it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
And then, I also watch, Marion, the city council meetings that y'all have. Remind people of when they are so that if they want to come in person, they're welcome to, or watch it on television. Would you do that?
So city council meetings are Monday, unless it's a holiday, then it's moved to Tuesday. The committee meetings begin at 5:30 p.m. And those meetings are essentially where the council actually goes through the agenda items, decide what's going to be on the agenda, and that is not public does not have the opportunity to give input. The council meetings are at 7 p.m. at Council Chambers Room 207, and during that time, it's when we vote on the agenda that we've put together at the committee meetings, and there is an opportunity for the public to come and to comment on any city business, not just what's on the agenda, because we have an opportunity to speak what's on the agenda. And then we also have an opportunity to speak about any city business. And if there's something that needs to have a public hearing, when we hold the public hearing, residents can come to speak about those things as well.
Thank you.
You're
How
welcome.
do you keep your stamina up running to be the mayor? Because that is not, it can't be easy.
It's not. And so part of it is, a lot of it is my faith. And, I keep God first, always have in the work that I do. I believe that I was called I called it the ministry of helps. And so I believe that I was called for that. And so, and I think part of that is what also allows me to have people in my heart. And so I have a heart for people. So I keep my stamina up with my faith. I keep my stamina up by being surrounded by very positive people who are here with me and to make as I go on this journey, that includes my family. So that really helps. I try to get the right amount of rest, also to eat right, and to just keep a very positive mind frame.
And what I like about your journey is that you do show up at places. That means so much. When you're invited somewhere, and I do the same. I mean, people invite me, I do my best to. And I see you do the same thing.
Absolutely, because Carla, we're called to serve, and that's what we're called to do. And I have to give some credit here to Mr. Paul Tonko, Congressman Paul Tonko, because when I decided to run for office, that's something I said I always admired that that part of what he did. And I told my sisters, I was like, I'm going to take a page out of his book. And my one sister said, well, why not the whole chapter? So I saw the importance of that, and I agree that it was important.
Yes.
And as I said before, community work is what brought me here. So to stay engaged and to in touch with the community, just for me is hugely important.
Sure. And the city council of Schenectady has really made history with so many people of color now. So how's that been? What's that like? Just share that with us.
Well, what's that been like? It's been good in some ways, and not so good in other ways. Some people aren't really receiving that very well. However, I believe that government should represent the people, and so and also I believe in succession planning. So as council members decide to do other things or move on, we need to be able to make sure that the representation stays at the table. And I don't only want to focus on color alone. I want to focus on what people bring to the table, the attributes that they bring to the table, the talents that they bring to the table. The young man, Councilman Carl Williams, who is currently the youngest council member, and he brings a military background. So it's really ethnicity is part of it, but it's not all of it. And we have Mr. John Mutuveran, who is Guyanese, and so the Guyanese community is represented as well. So that's not the only thing, and it's important because younger people who may want to go into politics see themselves represented. I think that's extremely important. However, it's not all that we bring to the table.
Okay. Wow, that's something. That is. We do want to remind you also about early voting. It's very important to keep getting this out. Early voting starts June 17th through the 25th, and the Honorable Karen B. Johnson Library at 99 Clinton Street, that's where one of the places are, calling on all registered Democrats and working families party members. So do you want to talk about some of the endorsements that you have?
So I've been endorsed by the Working Families Party members. So that means I'm going to be on the ballot twice on June 27th. I'm on the Democratic line, and I'm also on the Working Families line because they endorsed me as a candidate. I've been endorsed by SB PAC. And that's a local organization that supports candidates of color who are running for office. So those are the endorsements. And often during a primary, some people want to not make. I've applied for other endorsements, but they kind of want to wait till you get to the primary to decide, whether or not they'll do endorsements. So, yeah.
Gee whiz, that's something.
And I would like to say I feel like I've been endorsed by the community.
Oh, gee, that is something. Isn't that something? Give your information again, Marion, so if people want to correspond with you, please.
Visit my website, my campaign website at Marion, Marion, the number 4, mayor.com. Marion, Marion, number 4, mayor.com. Again, you have an opportunity to see my campaign information, to see any events that are going on, and to volunteer for the campaign. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
So when I was watching the city council meeting, and I've been there in person, I've even spoke at them myself. Sometimes the people get up. This is my observation, and they say all kind of things. And I like your response of thank you. How do you keep from losing your cool?
Well, again, when you're in this business, you have to realize that you're going to be dealing with people from all walks of life, and everyone has an opinion. And in addition to that, Carla, you don't know what people are going through on a day-to-day basis. You don't know how things have impacted them that day, or what. Usually when people come to the city council meeting and they're expressing themselves in that kind of way, something has occurred. So I am there, as all council members are, to listen to what their concerns are, and to let them know that that this is their place, that they can come, and to say thank you. It's just like, okay, thank you for coming here and letting us know. And because really it's not about me, so that's why I'm able to keep my composure. It's really about the people that have come to the city council to express what their concerns are.
But how do you keep your cool, period, just on it every day? Because being in the public's eye like you and I are, it's just like stuff comes at us. How do you just keep it, period?
I think that's kind of my personality. So,
Okay.
and again, I realize what I'm doing it and why I'm doing it. And I start my day off every day with prayer and meditation because I'm not sure what you never know what you're going to encounter. But again, you have to, there's a saying that you have to be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. So I keep that in mind because we've all had difficulties in our lives. So I keep that in mind that this person, what they're saying to me is really not personal.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
about whatever's going on with
Yes.
them.
So I have a couple of questions that I want to get in before we run out of time, but I have to quickly ask you one. That marijuana store that's in Schenectady, what do you think about that? I have my views on it, but what do you think?
So cannabis is legal now. So, it's not a question of can they exist or not. It's legal. So there it is. For me, it was about when it came to us, whether the opportunity was to actually to opt in or to wait. I wanted to wait so that we could zone properly and to make sure that the places were zoned were not impacting people negative. Take a look at where they would be zoned. And so the current location, we've had some feedback from residents about the long lines, about children having to walk past, about the smell wafting into businesses where children are. I believe there's a dance studio there. So it's really not my opinion on whether or not it can happen because, as I said, it's legal. For me, it's a matter of where is it the best place for these to be located.
I see. Wow. All righty. Well, I have a couple of questions before our time completely runs out. Jason from Bellevue has this question, and it is, what would the first thing happen or would you change if you were elected?
Okay.
What would you do? The first thing.
The first thing I would do is meet with the staff because I want, first of all, you're a new mayor. I believe you need to, a lot of staff I already know, but to sit down with your staff, to let them talk about what their expectations are because change is difficult for a lot of people. So first and foremost, the people who are going to be who I'm going to work with as a team are people that I would sit down and talk to. So collectively we can understand what my vision for this and to also talk about what is their vision. And how can we collectively and collaboratively make it happen?
You probably got a lot of feedback when you would go door to door. You would probably get people telling you things that they would like to see.
Absolutely. And part of that, that will be something we'll use as we do the comprehensive plan, the neighborhood planning.
Wow. All right, the next question is from Frances. She's out of the Stockade. And her question is, are other people of color backing and supporting you, and how?
So the answer is yes. They're backing me, supporting me as being part of my team. They're backing me and supporting me by giving donations. So the answer is yes.
Beautiful.
And people from all backgrounds and diverse backgrounds are supporting me.
Yes, yes. But people always are going to probably want to ask that question. Yeah, but they understand that. I mean, this is. Wow, this is history. This is history that you're doing here. This will never be forgotten that you're running. Never be, it won't be. So can you win, Marion? Can you win?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have gotten into it if I didn't think I could win.
Any more you want to say on that? Anything more you want to let the viewers know before we close? Anything?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy for this opportunity to run for mayor, and I know that I will serve your city well, and I would love your support. And if there's concerns or questions that you have of me, certainly feel free to reach out. Again, my website is Marion, Marion, for the number 4, mayor.com, and there's an opportunity also to send a email to Marion, number 4, mayor@gmail.com. Again, that's Marion, Marion, the number 4, mayor@gmail.com. You can send an email with any questions or concerns that you have, and we will respond to you.
And I know that there's so much more that we could be talking about and all, but because of the timing, but that's why I want people to go and look you up on the internet. Go to a city council meeting, sit in one, and see what happens.
The other thing is, I would like people to consider being part of our committees and our commissions, because those are those are staff. Well, I wouldn't even call it staff, but those residents help make up those boards, and that's an opportunity for people to give their input. And we're always looking for people who want to give their input on the various boards and commissions. So I invite people to take a look at the opportunities that are available and look at their own particular interest and skill set, and then look at being a part of that. I think that's so important. I can't say enough how important having people involved in their own government makes a difference. And then people feel better about that.
Marion, you are a real lady. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you. I really appreciate the invitation, Carla. And I want you to also know that I appreciate all your support that you've given me over the years in terms of having me on your show, and also just acknowledging me, even like the other day when we were in church, letting people know I was there. So thank you very much, Carla, for everything that you do, not just for me, but for the community. It's important.
My pleasure. Thanks for watching.